Hello, and welcome to No Format. I'm your host, Aaron, and you are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge as I sit down with Matt Perrin of Bummer. I'd like to thank you all for joining me. Please, enjoy. So, I just want to say thanks for showing up in the studio, Matt. I know coming to Canada was an impossibility, but you managed to anyway.
Yeah. Somehow, we did manage to come to Canada one time. We were supposed to play in Calgary one time. Like, we were supposed to get flown out to Calgary. It's actually a pretty good story. On this thing, Trevor Logler, who really wanted to fly us out, it was like 2 years ago, to Calgary. He was like, it was gonna be this big thing. We're gonna fly in for one show. Like, I shipped him like $200 worth of merch for this show, and like at the end of the day, like Mike just like, he didn't put Michael Gustafson. He only put Mike Gustafson on his passport application. So they denied him a passport. So it was just like all this time, it was like something we were really working towards. Like we were really like, you know, leading up to this thing. I remember this is like right after Holy Terror was released, and it just came down to that. Mike was like, he paid for this like acceleration of his visa or whatever, some crazy crap. And then at the end of the day, yeah, he put Mike instead of Michael, so it didn't match his birth name, so they denied him a passport. And we didn't go. Like, we thought they wanted us to play as a two-piece, and I was like, I mean, it's happened before, way back in the day, but it just, I just wanted to go to Calgary because I was getting the ticket paid for and everything. But then Sam was just like, I don't feel comfortable doing it. And we never went to Calgary. And it sucks because it would have been cool to go to Calgary, I want to go to Canada, and I want to go to places that are more like Kansas City in Canada. You know what I mean? I want to go to like the Winnipegs and the Calgarys and the Edmontons, and the Halifaxes. Like those are all places I'd really like to go.
Well, Edmonton's becoming a lot less dumpy in the past few years. It's definitely because they're kind of trying to like make it the tech capital of Alberta.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a lot more bougie down there than it used to be. Like, I don't want to say it was like New York in the 70s, but there's definitely like a hint of the grime.
A hint of the grime. Yeah. It's because it really sucks because like the only places I've really been in Canada is Toronto. Like I've been to Toronto a handful of times, and like I've been to London, and obviously just like that surrounding metropolitan area, but I've never been able to be, like I said, I want to, because I'm from Kansas City. So a lot of times, like when you ask people like what Kansas City is, they're like, I have no fucking idea. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right too, because it's in the middle of nowhere. But I also like experiencing those places because it's just how, you see a different type of people. Like you see a more like regional style of people, and I don't know, I kind of resonate with that. So hopefully one day, I really want to go to the west coast of Canada, like the Pacific side of Canada, definitely. That whole
everybody goes.
I would hope that one day it is also where I go. I will just cross my fingers.
Well, touring bands, I'm just gonna, since you've never like toured Canada, I'm gonna break it down to you. Here's how you schedule a tour if you're a band coming in to Canada. So you hit Montreal.
Okay.
That's number one. You hit Toronto. That's number two. If you're feeling a little, bold, you might tour some of the communities surrounding Toronto. Maybe hit up Winnipeg. Skip over the rest of the provinces and go straight to Vancouver.
Yeah, isn't that like a fucking like 18-hour drive though from like Winnipeg to like off like skip those provinces?
Oh no, I think it's like a 2-day drive.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah.
That's part of the problem with, and I'm not even going to say it's just American bands. It's just like part of being a band in Canada. There's so much like distance between the communities.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the only feasible way you really can do that. I mean, it would be really fun if you just like, we're going to go camp like for 2 days in the fucking wilderness.
Oh yeah.
If you had the money to do it. My old band Blue Healer did that. We crossed the border and then we just like went off the beaten trail and we just like stayed a night in Canada before we played some crazy, some weird show in Toronto. But I mean, yeah, it's why you see bands, I think, especially from the American point of view, that they like go into Canada and then come back out.
Yeah.
And then, then they want, as soon as they hit like Seattle, then they go back up and then go back down, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'd really like to do that. Like, I just want to go back out to the West Coast in general, like where, it's cooler just in general.
Where they've got the smells out there.
I mean, they've got the snow and the sun, You got California, which is way too big of a state. Definitely should split that fucker up. You got Oregon, which people, like killed themselves to get to like 150 years ago, 200 years ago. Crazy to think about. And then you got Washington. Because the most American thing you can do is just start naming states after presidents. Do you know how many times the state of Lincoln has tried to been proposed in Congress?
No, I don't.
It's like 6 or 7 times. Texas at one point, like way back in the day. It's pretty funny, but like it's really surprising there's not a state called Lincoln, because there's been like 7 times that there's been a state that's proposed as Lincoln. Well, fun fact for you.
Yeah, that is a fun fact. I'll be sure to drop that one at parties if I ever.
Yeah, if you ever go to one in America, I don't know. That's not a good party trick. I have no good party tricks. Do you have good party tricks?
Jeez, no. I don't remember the last time I've been to a party. Like a legitimate full-on party. Because, I just don't get out anymore.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, I feel that. Especially after this past year, like, going out's pretty overrated.
A little bit.
It's just a little bit, we'll see if my mindset changes there.
Oh, probably you'll get out and you'll be like, yeah, being inside all that time just kind of sucked.
I mean, being inside can suck, but it's also pretty cool. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Re-entry's been interesting here. So I don't know how it is with you guys, but like, everything's really coming back full force.
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely been odd for me. Because I've worked from home for like 13 months, and then it was like, all right, bucko, like you're back in the saddle. And I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? People suck. So yeah, it's been an interesting time. Everyone in Bummer's been dealing with that. It's just like 13 months of isolation, and just like we were kind of like some of the only people we really would see. And now it's just like everything's kind of full blown. It's been a weird time, man.
I know. Everybody's just so eager to go back to the way things were.
Yeah.
It's like none of the lessons have been learned.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, I just don't think you can go back to the way that things were. I don't know, man. It's just like a whole generation of people just experienced like 13 months worth of like justifiable trauma from a global pandemic. So, it is interesting because like, I know people who just like that. They're like, oh, dude, like, let's just, life's back to normal, dude. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, life's definitely like really changed here. So
I know. I was walking into Best Buy and I was like, oh, life's a little different now.
Yeah, just no matter how you want to look at it, like everything's just a little bit different. So, and it's just weird to see, which people react to that, and so many personalities come out of it, and everything's on the internet. So I'm just here for the ride, man.
Speaking of which, I don't know if it was like right before everything went into like super mega lockdown, but you guys recently signed with Thrill Jockey, was it?
The Thrill Jocks. The Thrill Jocks, man. Yeah, we signed to Thrill Jockey. I believe we signed it was October. It was October, if I believe. Because that happened because we played a show with The Body. That was just a funny story because Hot Snakes was playing the same night and they hadn't played Kansas City ever. So it was at a place that I was working at that point. I was like doing door at this place called Record Bar. So I was like, damn, this could have been like a show I could have like gotten free. So I was like, we're playing with The Body, and we played with The Body like a handful of times. Love those dudes. Like, I love Lee and all those y'all, but I'm missing Hot Snakes. And we were like, damn, dude. And, we talked to them there about it. I was like, dude, yeah, it's going to be an interesting show because, like, Hot Snakes is in town. And they're like, oh, shit, really? I'm like, yeah. They're like, fuck. So we played that show. And then Lee from The Body came up to me that night. He's like, hey, we should do a split. And I just kind of was like, oh, okay. I was just thinking he's joshing me. He's just, like, pulling my chain. Like we don't take anything seriously in Bummer. Like, you tell us something, like we've just dealt with so many people that are like, oh dude, like oh my god, dude, like it's such a sick set, like we totally need to do this and this and this, and most of the time it's bullshit. So a lot of the times you're just kind of like, okay man, cool, whatever. But then he was like, let me get your number, and I'm like, I've been through this road before. But then lo and behold, like a couple of days later, he texted me and he's like, yeah, I talked to Bettina from Thrill Jockey because they've been putting out records with Thrill Jockey for a hot minute. And they're like, yeah, we vouch for you. And like, Bettina's down to do it. And that was kind of like the first experience with the team. And it went over pretty well. And then I went up to Chicago because I was dating my girlfriend Emily, and she lived there, and it just kind of worked out that I was going up there and stopped by the office and like to talk to those people, and they're a really cool team. And then I just kind of, it worked out, and then we got the formal offer, and that happened, and now there's a new record And it's come, you'll probably hear about it actually incredibly soon. So looking at the date.
Well, that's awesome. Are we expecting more Iron Man references on this one?
Wait, Iron Man references?
Yeah, Terrence Howard, War Machine.
Oh yeah. That was Mike, definitely Mike. Terrence Howard's War Machine. I don't know. This record actually is probably less about that. The new record is definitely like it's a lot darker. It is probably we spent a lot of time on this record, like way more time than we ever spent doing anything else, if that makes any sense. And let me adjust this little pop filter here because it is sagging on me. And what I mean by that is like when we did Holy Terror and stuff like that, that was a collection of songs. Like some of those songs were like years old. Like, the last track on Holy Terror was a song that like it was taken from Young Ben Franklin, which was like the first demo EP we ever put out, like when I was like 18. So a lot of those songs were like collected over the years because we weren't really like writing a lot I don't know what's the word. Like we're not writing a lot pro something. I don't know. I didn't like, English proficient proactively. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't, like I said, I didn't major in English.
I mean,
or grammar or words.
Just to totally cut you off there, I was going to say that's kind of weird that all those songs are just like a collection of songs. Because when I listen to that album, it definitely has a very consistent flow to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say that. I'm glad that you would think that when you listen to it, because I'd have to pull up the track list. Like, let me see here. Like, I don't even remember what's on that goddamn record.
I will say that, is it Astro Bastard? Comes kind of out of nowhere on that record.
Yeah, so, and I guess what I would say is when this new record gets announced, there's a lot more of like the Astro Bastard style songs. Like there's a lot of just like full-fledged Assault. Like we get into like really more like metal leading territory, and we kind of went into this record like, I stopped like super doubling the vocals. Like it's a lot drier. Like I have a way, I really worked on my voice during pandemic and like got my break. So it's definitely like it's really cool because like we spent a lot of more time on it than ever, so it's like really full, but it's also just kind of just a different way that we did this stuff. And why I think it's different than Holy Terror is because I'm looking at these songs right now and it's like, for example, like Frown Job, that song is so old, and like compared to like when Hex Games what was the last song they wrote on that record? Fred Savage. Like Frown Job and Fred Savage are like 3 years apart in terms of like writing on that record. And then with this new record that we're doing, which I can't even say the name of yet, I guess, is goddamn it, like we all wrote it pretty much over pandemic. Like the oldest song I think on the newest record, it took maybe like a year and a half or so. So it's like a lot more of like a collective thought. So
you guys just trading like riffs over the internet at this point?
No, like kind of how it worked out for us is because we live in Kansas City, so like we live in Kansas and Missouri, both are like unfortunately pretty red here, so restrictions have always been pretty lackluster. The Kansas City, the city council has done an okay job. Quentin Lucas has done pretty all right with that, but regardless, we kind of just like held off the first couple months, but then I think around like June, like last summer, I didn't really see anybody besides like my roommates. It was pretty strict through quarantine. So we just kind of said like, hey, like we're just going to start getting together and practicing. We live really close. Like, let's just keep a tight circle and mask up. And we did that. And so we just spent a lot of time in quarantine, quarantine, but really a lot of us didn't even quarantined for a while, like a lot of us just went straight back to work.
Yeah.
You know, like Mike and Sam both. I was blessed enough to, just because I was working for Apple at the time, just to like, you know, deal with whatever the fuck they were doing at the time, which is like, you know, you worked from home, did development, then you got changed like every month doing something. But yeah, so it was cool though, man. It honestly was like tight, because like the energy was really, really fun at that point. Like we were busting out songs. Like it was just like every week, you know, we were coming to the practice with riffs, and we're already, and you know, like we're already writing new songs on top of this now. Like we were just polishing up one the other day, just yesterday, like just cranking them out. So it's been cool, man. We'll see what happens.
So you're saying that you're going into much more like, you feel it's a much more metal record. You feel like the response is going to be pretty similar to the last one?
I don't know, and I don't fucking care really. Like here's the deal, like it's gonna piss off somebody who liked our last record. Mm-hmm. I think so, but at the same time, like it's one of like the most collective, like yet desolate things I think we've ever done. And what really was cool about this record is like we demoed everything beforehand. Like we really worked out ideas. Like we didn't just like kind of go in the studio and throw it together. This is the first time we like had some time to like demo it all out, listen to it, change things, add layers, take out things, and just like go into it like really, really prepared, and like use a lot of high quality gear so it like does sound like fucking massive, even though to me it is like a little lean. It's like it's kind of cut back. Like to me it's like a, you know, like a lean piece of meat. Like it's still beef, you know, but it's like a really good cut of beef. Like, you know, the like 98% lean, 2% fat, you know, that kind of shit. So that's how I look at it. So I'm excited for the world to hear it. I'm excited for the world to see it. I think we did really well on the packaging, and yeah, you know, we'll just see how that fucking cookie crumbles, baby.
Are we, I know it might be a little bit of an issue bringing this up, but, are you guys looking at getting vinyl press for that? And is that affecting the release date of the album at all?
Of the Bummer record?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Thrill Jockey's great. You know why? Because they've been a label for a really long time. So they're grandfathered in a bunch of places that don't take new clients. So, no joke, this is... I'm going to go on record and say this is the fastest turnaround time I've ever seen for a record. Like, we recorded this last record January 31st, and all I'm just going to say is it's going to be pretty soon when you're able to start pre-order it. So I would just keep your eyes out, you know, just any day now. So definitely like the quickest turnaround time I've ever done. With Learning Curve, it was a year. With the fucking Big Water shit, don't even get me started on that. That was a long time. I was
actually gonna, after we were done talking about Bummer, I was actually gonna get you started on that.
Oh yeah, we'll take a hop on that, because that's a fucking story within itself. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like I was like, this is fast, super fast. So definitely there will be, just if you look at not learning curves, look at Thrill Jockey's website and you'll see what formats they press. So you would probably expect the same. But yeah, I'm honestly pretty stoked. They've been really fun to work with. It definitely is like some big boy shit, and I got to put on my big boy pants because like I take care of a lot of the emailing and like the financial work for the band. So there's definitely like a lot more that goes into that, like doing your taxes, like getting payouts, like you get a 1099, like keeping track of like your expenses, and like so that's definitely kind of like elevated and like become more of a thing. But it's been fun, man. Definitely I'm really really excited. Like we're distributed through Red Eye, so it's like this will be the first record that has like kind of like a national distribution. Like people can order it from like a very well-known distributor, and like we have European and hopefully Japanese distributors, and like I'm really stoked, and I think Thrill Jockey's been putting out some really cool records.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not per se like they would make it into Noise Rock Now or be Noise Rock Now approved, but definitely things that I thoroughly enjoy, like that Upper Wilds band that who has a new record coming out. I love that band. I think that band's super fun. They did Eye Flies. They've obviously done all the Body stuff. They did like Double Dagger back in the day. Denny Bowen from Room Runners band. So I'm stoked, man. Yeah. So I hope you guys like it. It's definitely like it's really a complete thing. Like I don't really feel like we half-assed anything, because we kind of half-assed some stuff with Holy Terror. Fun fact about Holy Terror: that's not supposed to be the original artwork. That the artwork that's on Holy Terror was not the first choice.
Oh,
yeah.
Do we have like is there a particular reason why it was like mixed?
Shit, man, I could leak it to you. I could just send you it if I have it. Yeah. So we originally wanted to get the person who did the artwork for Spank. So we were going to have, and that was Danny Perelman, and we were like, we wanted them to do it for Spank. But it definitely like turned into an issue because like my old coworker, Zach Bowman from Mills, took that photo that's on the cover, and we always really liked that photo, but we used it a lot already. So we're like, we're going to get Danny Perelman to do this art. Like we're going to have her hand draw all this art. And it took a really long time. And then when it just kind of came down to it, like we got the final product back, and it was just like, this just like doesn't look really that good. And so it kind of sucks, but we just had to like, I paid Danny for their time, and I was like, dude, I'm really sorry, but like this just, and I don't want to have you go through and like make a bunch of changes, because like I already know this took a bunch of time for you, and in all honesty, there could have been a lot more direction there. Like sometimes when you give an artist too much free reign, like sometimes they just don't really feel like what's going on. Sorry, I'm on my Bandcamp right now, and Thrill Jockey just like posted all, the record's just like ready to go. Oh, that looks good. I like seeing that. I'm just on my Bandcamp, and I was like, oh shit, because they have control of our Bandcamp, so they can like, they post, like we're linked to them, all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, ooh, that was fucking good. So really excited for you guys to see that.
I know.
but back to Holy Terror. Yeah, it was originally supposed to be hand drawn. It was red. I'm trying to pull it up right now on my Google Drive and see if I can send you.
I think most people who have been dealing with artists for a while, maybe they have a similar story where it's like, you commission someone to do some work, and the artwork is just like not working out the way that you wanted, the way that you intended to.
It's happened. It's happened to me like twice now. Using backups. The Big Water record is the same way. There was an original artist, and then like it just wasn't what Steve wanted, who's like the guitarist of my band, and it's kind of like his baby.
Yeah.
And then it just I did the art direction for it, and then had the guy who did the layout for Holy Terror, Josh Wilkinson. He's been a really big tool in the Kansas City metal scene, in my opinion. And I think everybody really enjoys Josh because of that. And he runs this label called The Company. He does a lot of stoner doom stuff. We did that Motorhead comp thing for him. It was just, Motorhead, baby. Whatever. But yeah, I love that dude. And because he really has been really crucial and really helpful in the Kansas City, in the heavy scene right now here, because he's your go-to graphic designer. So he's definitely helped us out on a lot of stuff. But yeah, that is a fun fact. If I can find it, I'll totally send it to you, Aaron. You'll see it and you'll be like, yeah. And I'll tell you why, because I don't think I should say it on the air of why exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be out there just necessarily.
Yeah, because
no reason.
I mean, because Danny Perelman is one of the greatest artists I've ever seen. She's an amazing tattoo artist, and I will always have her respect. And what really sucks is because of that, I always felt kind of got off on a bad foot on that. She also did artwork for The Body and stuff like that, and I always felt really bad for that because it just was a taste thing. It just was the picture worked better, and at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad we went with that photo because it is just a good representation of who we were at that time.
Yeah,
because that was what we were bringing to shows and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. So playing in a band, rocking out.
Well, maybe you can hang on to the art and use it in
20 years down the line.
Down the road.
Yeah, when someone's we're gonna repress your record, and I was here's this unreleased art, for Record Store Day 2042. Some stuff like that.
We just got a leak for Bummer's Record Store Day 2042. Everybody.
Yeah, it's coming.
Make sure to peep that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna slide. Did you ever watch Sliders?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna just slide into the future and just do that real quick. I'm actually watching Sliders right now on my TV because it's on Comet, which is one of that's the sci-fi public access channel, and it's just going right now. Love it.
Is it always on?
No, Comet's got it's just got all the weird stuff. It's got X-Files. It always has the weird 80s sci-fi horror movies. Sometimes it usually plays Day of the Dead, that public access movie, for a really long,
oh wow,
whatever they can get for free. But it's a good channel. You throw it on while you're in the office doing some work, all that kind of jazz. But
zoning out, something you just
dude,
on in the background.
Dude, space drama, best drama,
Oh, yeah,
so
totally.
Love it. Love that sci-fi shit.
Yeah, which actually reminds me of something someone told me about Catwoman. So all these movies that they sell for dirt cheap, that they can get on the cheap. Apparently a lot of those can make a ton of money just from selling them to advertisers, because it's super cheap to buy them, put them on your network, broadcast them at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And you can still, and some of those movies can still make a profit. Catwoman lost money at the box office, but it still continues to bring a pretty significant royalty.
Yeah, because they're constantly pushing it to networks.
Oh yeah, and it's dirt cheap to pick up. So
I mean, hey, power to them, man. Make your money, I guess, off your consumers. Love America.
But yeah, we were gonna get into the Big Water record, which lots of drama over. Let me tell you, I love a good drama bump for the show.
Yeah, it's been a ride, man. I mean, dude, where do I start? It's been
at the beginning.
Okay, at the beginning. This record came about because one day we were playing a show,
mm-hmm.
and we pulled up to the show at this place called Farewell Transition, and Steve, already drunk, said, "I'm here to drink natties and fuck shit up." And I'm all shit to fuck up. And then we knew that day, we were like, that's what we're going to name the record. And so, yeah, we made this record in we recorded it in November of 2019, which is about a year and a half ago. And then, and we kind of went into it like knowing that we had like 0 fans and nobody knew about us because I'm the only one with social media. And, I don't post on it much. Like Mike does most of the Bummer social media, so thank the Lord for him. So, but we went into it being like, we'll just play well enough that someone will convince someone to press our record. You know, like we literally just went into the mindset like, let's just be good. And then maybe someone will give us a chance. Like we thought it was like 1970 or something like that, where you could just like make a break by like just being a good band. You know what I mean? Like not being a viral sensation or anything. Yep. We tried. We recorded this record.
You know, in noise rock, you know? Some people will.
I mean, don't even get me started on noise rock. God.
I mean, I'm sure I'll give it an 8 regardless.
I mean, we'll get into it. We'll get into noise rock.
Yeah.
We'll get into the rock that's filled with noise.
But anyway.
Regardless, we recorded 12 tracks and we cut 1, and then I did the filler through in like FL Studio at that time, because there's a lot of, you know, we like Duster and lo-fi and all this bullshit, and we've been infusing a lot more of that into the set, because Big Water kind of started on this like joke that like we were gonna make a Curb Your Enthusiasm band, because like we fucking love Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's like Larry David is he's a genius. And that's kind of where like the band started off of. The band really started like almost 4 years ago. Like it took us a long time because I was in Blue Heeler at the time, and before Blue Heeler broke up, I was also in a band called Gun Band that recorded a demo that I actually found in my basement today at the tape and listened to again, but then never saw the light of day. So it was like a weird thing at first because I had no time to do it because I was in Gun Band, I was still in Blue Heeler, and I was doing Bummer. And I was an agent at that time too, playing drums to them. A lot of bullshit. But it just started off, we got into Curb, you know, and then it just kind of blossomed into that. And then and then we fucking recorded a demo, and then we fucking took 3 years, and now we have a record, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm getting off topic because I'm stoned, but
that's okay.
We recorded it in 2019, and then we got it mastered by the same guy who did the Nerver record. Mm-hmm. If you've listened to that record, and because Nerver recorded it with James Rumsey, so we liked the way that their record sounded. So we were like, we're gonna replicate the way that they did it because we're gonna record James Rumsey. Let's get it mastered by Reed Otto. And so kind of went down to it. And Reed Otto, he also did the Coalesce Give Them Rope remaster. So that was like his big thing. He was in this like, he was kind of like in this Christian Breather Resist band. I've kind of forgot what they're called. They were called like Renaissance or like something like that, whatever. Hit him up. We got this thing mastered. We were like really stoked on it. We spent a lot of time with it. I got the samples for the record. I'm really into like public domain movies and public access like movies because there's a lot of cool shit in there, like A Man with a Golden Arm, Kansas City Confidential, like Plan 9 from Outer Space. Like there's just weird shit in there. So I get really into that. I like sampling. So we couldn't really do the Curb Your Enthusiasm sampling anymore like we did on the tape because we were bound to get in trouble for it. So I resorted to like public access sampling, and you'll see a lot of more sampling on the new Bummer record too. There's like a lot of voice samples and like public access and like old horror movies and stuff like that. And so we kind of crafted that with the Big Water record, and it was like really cool. We were super proud of it, and we just like had one rule. We're like, we're not gonna settle. We're gonna like put this record out. We're gonna fucking release this fucking record, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it on wax. That was like the rule. And so the beginning of pandemic, I remember like about a year ago, not it was a year ago, like maybe like probably like, 13, 14 months ago. As soon as pandemic started, like probably around April or May. Yeah, I started sending it around. I hit up Hex Records. I remember hitting up Hex, and Ryan was just like, hey, this is good, but like this is just not stuff I put out. And I was like, okay, I respect that. And we could have always done it through the Ghost is Clear, which is the label here, because Punch is in Canyons. You know, we've known Bobby forever, but it just kind of like worked out. We hit up Chris from Reptilian because like they did Chat Pile, they did Super Thief, you know, he did Page 99 back in the day, Flowers in the Attic. He just like kind of took a chance, and then he said yeah, but then, you know, and like no, not blaming Chris, like he had other releases going on, but then while that kind of was going on, it just like turned into like a big waiting process. And then there were problems with the master because we got it mastered by Reed Otto, and he kind of just was a dick about mastering it in general. He's just like a weird dude. You know, like nothing against him, but like it just weird interaction, and just, I don't know. It's just, I wasn't about it. And we finally got those masters back, but then they were just like so overly compressed that like it was actually like hard to listen to. So like, you know, after a while of listening to it, I was like, dude, I don't know about this. And then Chris like hit us up and he's like, hey, like I'll put this record out, but like it needs to be remastered. Like something's like not right. So we asked Reed to like remaster it. And then like we really kindly were just like, hey, here's what's going on. Like the kick is like super overly compressed, and it's making the whole record go like sucking it out like a vacuum. That was probably the weirdest fucking sound I could ever make. But it sounded like that. Like you would listen to it and it would just like the kick, it was too much. So it would like suck out all of the other frequency, and you could literally just like hear it. It sounded like someone just like going and it was really weird. And then we asked him to remaster it, and he pretty much sent an email that was like, here's why you're wrong on a technical level and why I'm not going to change it because of why I'm not wrong on a technical level. And it was like really shitty, and I kind of was just like, dude. So Chris called me after that. He's like, hey, that was, I don't know what the fuck's that about. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is about either. And so we kind of moved on from that. We're like, well, Chris felt really bad because he was, you know, I thought we could just get it fixed, and he was just like, look, I'm gonna help you guys out, and I'll pay to get remastered by Eric Victor, who did like Candy and Faking and some other bands. And it was just like, okay, but that just meant like it's gonna be even more time now, and like potentially like more money that we were just like putting into it, you know, because like I had the artwork already. As soon as I had it mastered, like I was ready to like get this thing going, and just hiccups and hiccups and hiccups. And then you know, I finally, I guess, got the order in, and I got the test presses, I think in February. And then I got the records, I think Saturday, like the day after it was supposed to come out. And it just kind of was, it was just like a long process for us. To put it in context, we already have like another 12 songs fully written and like ready to record. So we're actually like about to go record a new record like with these songs, you know, because these songs are like, some of these songs are like 2-3 years old. So, and our sound is like kind of even more evolved. It's gotten like more of a Palvo, more of like a Duster, you know, Slint-esque. Like definitely there's still like some hard hitting riffs, but it's like a lot slower now. So it's kind of interesting, you know, going back through and playing some of these songs, because I'm like, oh my god, dude, like these are fucking fast, man. Like we really were trying to be a screamo band, Steve. God damn, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just there, like cranking my back out. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, oh, I drank too much beer for this, because I have to do vocals within that band too, and it is holy shit, man. I'm gonna give you all advice right now. If you guys want to play in a band and you want to be a drummer, don't say you can do vocals. Just flat out refuse it. Just say no. Even if you have prior experience as a frontman, say no. I'm going to save y'all's lungs right now. I burn 5,000 calories a week at practice alone. I don't think I burn that many calories, but still, it sucks. Don't do it. If you want to do it, if you want to be like, you know, the guys from Shallow, North Dakota, and like, you know, do that, kudos to you. I have respect for you, but don't waste your breath, because it's hard. And so that's what's also difficult is we wrote these new songs, which are a lot slower and calmer and with like a lot more dynamics. And it's kind of interesting to go back and play a lot of these like really quick, like really sporadic songs. So yeah, and it's out. You know, we've just been sitting on it for a while. I'm the only one with social media, so you know, I'm the only one talking about it. So I love those dudes, though. I mean, they definitely like talk about it word of mouth, but
yeah,
it sucks, man, because here's something that just will really fucking bum me out, dude, is I got these records on Saturday and they came in through FedEx, and I was really stoked. I was like, cool, I'm gonna go sell some of these records from the stores, open one up, and that fucker is warped. And then I'm like, ooh. So I'm like, okay, I go and get another. It's also warped. And then I'm kind of starting to panic. And then I'm going through the boxes and trying to grab one from each box, you know, test them all out. And they're all wobbly. Oh. So, yeah, man, I'm mad bummed out about it right now. So, I'm like literally like right next to me is a stack of 26 records that I have like a stack of like 7 books on right now. So yeah, it's definitely really frustrating. I luckily worked at a record store before, so like I do have tricks to flattening out records, but it's tough. Yeah, I mean it makes it tough because like you got orders for the record and you kind of have to like go through and find the ones that are going to be the least wobbly. You know, they are in the shrink, but yeah, so I'm definitely bummed out about that, man, because it's just like it makes it, you know, it's a gamble you gotta play, because it's like I don't want to sell people like a wobbly record. I mean, it plays through, you know what I mean, but
yeah,
nobody wants to get a record that's like you see the needle like going up and down like a wave. Like, you know, nobody wants to see that. I know it happens sometimes. I worked in a record store long enough that like when that shit's in a shrink wrap, like, and it gets hot, like that thing's gonna, you know, it's gonna curl up. But it definitely, dude, it bummed me out to see it, because like now we gotta make the decision. Like I gotta talk to Chris, like, you know, do I discount the price on these? Do I take them all out of the plastic and flatten them? Because I can flatten them if I do that, but then you gotta take them out of the shrink, you know what I mean? So, and then it's like extra effort on my hand, and I risk damaging them further if I don't do it right.
Well,
like,
would they cover pressing, you know, or is that just like something that the record?
Well, I mean, imagine this way: it's like if you press that thing again, it's gonna take, you know, it's got to get back in the cycle. So, I mean, you're expecting like another like 6 months. So,
hey, just in time for another repress.
You know, yeah, it's just tough. It's tough to see kind of. I don't know. I gotta talk to Chris. You know, he told me we get something worked out, so I'm just kind of waiting to talk to him. You know, to get something solved out, because it's just kind of like something's got to be figured out. Gotta, you know, whether these get marked down or we don't pay full price for them, you know, like just something's got to get figured out. But it definitely bums me out. You know, I was stoked to like finally have it and be like, oh my God, this has been a journey. And then you take it out and it's just like wobbling around. So, and it doesn't help that it's like a clearish yellow brown wax. So it doesn't really have a lot of consistency. It looks really nice, but you know, so it makes it more prone. So yeah, check back with me in a couple days, and hopefully I'll let you know if my flattening process is going out all right. Got like a UV light, some books on it, a little space heater set at a little minimum level, give it some nice compression over time, and we'll see if I can make them work. But
yeah, absolutely. I'll leave a little update note in the description section.
Yeah, so anybody who ordered a record, you might have to give me a couple more days to ship your record because it's currently getting flattened out. So it plays correctly without any wobble on your turntable.
That's really unfortunate to hear. So is that kind of like the end of all the trials for this particular record so far?
Yeah, I guess, man. I am excited I am excited to see it come today. Like, there definitely are songs on here that like where I'm proud about, that we had a good time, writing. Like, a lot of these songs are like, references to things we've heard and, said from people. Like, my body is a temple and I treat it like Hot Topic. Like that. So I saw your post on Noise Rock Now, and Steve Pike commented about the Natter Day Chicken, and this is in reference to the Natter Day Chicken. Is Exhalants came and played in KC, and it was like I booked a show at Farewell, and it was like them, and then I think it was just them, us, and then like Nerver, and Canyons, I believe, but. Everybody came and chilled on my big deck at the time. I lived over on like 58th and Passaic, this big deck, and we were grilling chicken. And this was like right as soon as the Natter Days came out. They were like a huge craze, and like I'm a Natural Light fan.
Oh, okay.
The record is called "I'm Here to Drink Natties and Fuck Shit Up," and I'm here to fuck shit up. So. Just Natural Light, it's not good, but I'll drink it. My girlfriend is probably listening to me say that and just rolling her eyes because she's a bartender and knows a lot about beer.
Yeah, it's pretty shit. I gotta be real with you.
Oh, dude, no, it's okay. I know it's shit. It's like pride at this point. I go to practice and like I don't drink it as much now, and they look down upon me. They're like, "You're breaking away," because after I started drinking beer that is good, you do realize like, wow, this is really terrible, but man, is it cheap, and will it get you drunk? Yes, it will. So it turns into like aesthetic, honestly, but. So, we had to rep the Natty Light. A lot of Natty Lights here in the state of Missouri. I mean, you just see it a lot. Regardless, we were dunking those Natter Days. Like, we were throwing those back, and we were chilling on the porch, having a good time. We were like, let's grill. Like, one of the best activities you can do hanging out with touring bands is just like the act of making food, because it shows you like this, a lot of skills that you don't think a lot of people have. It shows like a lot of people's culture that they, have these identities they built from their parents and stuff like that. And it's really fun to have people cook at your house, like have touring bands, because you learn a lot and you get to learn a lot about other people. It's just one of my favorite activities to do. So I was like, of course, let's grill, let's get some chicken, let's get some dogs, all this stuff. And we were thinking about ways that we would marinate the chicken. And the idea came up, like we were like, damn, we don't have any lemons. And we were like, but we have Natter Day. You know what I mean? So we were like, what if we just like, what if we, and like we'll burn the alcohol out. So like, let's, like, and we were like, fuck it. Like, we seasoned it up, and then we made kind of like a Natter Day marinade. Like Tommy Raban was the one who was like really fucking making it. We kind of put like a marinade on the stove and like fatten it up with like a little bit of flour, give it a little bit, like of that fat with some butter, and then like, made this little marinade and like put it in a plastic bag and like let it sit for a couple hours. And in that point, Tommy Raban said, like, because when we were talking about, people were coming over to our house and like, what the fuck are you guys making? We're like, we're making Natter Day chicken. And Tommy Raban just like screams, he's like, my body is a temple and I treat it like Hot Topic. And I was like, that's a fucking good ass song name right there. And so that is credited to Tommy Raban. But we made Natter Day chicken, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Aaron, that fucking shit was good. Like, I'm not even like being facetious here when I say that shit had an interesting tang to it, but it was sweet, definitely very sweet. But it was really fucking good because we had it with some peppers and some rice and some other shit. And not gonna fucking lie, it's pretty good. I've used Natter Day to marinate other things. I made a vegetarian gumbo, and I didn't have any veggie broth. And it was like in an emergency. Guess what I used? Natter Day.
Well,
It was good.
yeah. If you're gonna make food with alcohol, you probably don't want to be using really expensive or pricey alcohol because you're not gonna get like the subtlety or any of the flavor. Really?
Yeah, I want the chemicals.
Yeah, there you go. So
I want the chemicals.
It's pretty much just a waste because I make food with alcohol because I also drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never like going for the expensive one. It's always like that $8 bottle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna cook with wine. I don't need to spend $40 on it.
No.
So it's gonna make my food taste a little better. But that's the beauty of it. And it's a great story, and it just is like friends coming together, getting fucked up, and being like, "That's a funny idea. Let's do that." And then you just kind of goes down in history. You know what I mean? You just are like, "Oh, that was really funny. Let's do that." You know what I mean?
So, speaking of that post I made, I was actually going to say that we should get to some of the potential listener questions. So,
yeah, totally.
So,
let's answer some fucking questions.
All right, so let's.
Oh yeah.
So Nicholas, it's pronounced Boomer. So I'm supposed to ask you about Reaganomics.
Reagan killed the United States economic system. Trickle-down economics has completely wrecked a generation of people, including mine and the one after me. Our parents and our parents' parents are the only ones that control the assets in this country. Millennials own less than 20% of the assets in this country, and that can be directly related to Reaganomics. especially trickle-down economics, which is a system imposed by Reaganomics. Republicans think he's Christ on earth, and really, he's the devil. It's also not pronounced boomer.
I got a question from Tyler Hodgkins. Hodgins.
Okay.
Ask him which of the bands you're in are meaner drunks. So, who's the rowdiest? Who's the meanest? Who's best to drink with? I think that's another very important question. And who can hold their liquor the best and the least? So we'll go down the list. Meanest drunks.
The meanest drunk is probably Sam. Sam, but like Sam's just rowdy. Like when Sam gets some drinks in him, it's a fun as fuck time. But it's like Sam, he's rowdy. I wouldn't say he's like necessarily like the meanest drunk. We don't really have like a mean drunk in the group. We do have a couple rowdies. So
this is out of all of your bands. So
yeah, it would still be Sam. It's a hard tie between Sam or Punch. Like, they both can get pretty rowdy in their own sense. You know, like, when Sam gets a couple, like, vodka crayons in him, like, that boy will, like, literally stick half his body out the van and start peeing on semis that he's passing. I've seen it. You know, like, and I love him for it, but like, you get enough vodka crayons in him, he's that type that's like, I'm ready to go do some crazy shit. Punch, on the other hand, you get enough beers in that dude, and it's just like, that mouth just starts yapping, like, it starts just going hard, you know what I mean? So, it just kind of depends. Okay, so that would probably be like the meanest, rowdiest, and then you said the best person to drink with?
Best to get drunk with.
It's got to be Steve and Punch. That's just like that's a weekly occurrence. After I am done doing this, I'm going to head over there and we're going to grill and get drunk because it's Memorial Day. You know, because that's an American holiday where we celebrate the troops. God bless the troops.
Are you guys gonna raise the flag?
That was paid to you by the FCC. Thank you. We're not gonna raise the flag. We are gonna raise the big anime titty girls that we have. We have a flag that's just a big anime titty girl though. I'm not kidding you. I have a great photo. If you find my personal Instagram, you'll see me in my full American flag outfit with an AK-47. Backdropped by big anime titty girls. So you gotta have respect for that. It's pretty cool. I hope it all burns, but yeah, it was made for a good photo. But yeah, I don't know. You know, we're gonna. Those are the best guys to drink with. It's just like, you know, it was like a part of our identity, and now it's just like. It's just fun. I don't really, to be honest with you, I really don't drink a lot except when I'm around those guys. So it's just always like really fun to pound a couple back and just hang out. That's why Big Water is just real fun with those dudes, because we just like to pound them and go rock a little and then go pound some more, and we chill a lot, you know? So I'd say that. That's my answer for that one.
Here we go. I got a question from Alex Pearson. Favorite dirt pedal?
Oh, the Rat. I like the Rat. The Proco Rat. That's a good one. It's really like the only one I've used. I use the Fuzzrocious Cattail, which is like just the fancy one of those. But I don't really. I'm kind of dicking around with other distortions. But when I was a kid, I played a bunch, and a bunch of them were like shitty because probably they were all Boss pedals.
Yeah.
But then, I got a Proco Rat because like I loved the Foo Fighters self-titled, and I know he recorded that record with an Explorer and a Rat, which is like what I had. So I was like, oh, let me get one of those, and I was like, oh, I like that tone. So that's always been my favorite. I'd love to get like an original one. My friend Reese, who plays in that band WEP, he collects those and has like a shit ton of them, and I'm really jealous because I'm like, damn, dude, I'd love to have one. But yeah, I would say definitely the Proco Rat circuit is like my favorite dirt pedal.
There we go. And I got one from Gabe Rose Gonzalez. How's it looking for tours this year with Big Water or Bummer or both? By the way, the new Big Water album absolutely slays.
Thanks, Gabe. Gabe's always been a really nice guy. He's been really nice for a lot of people, and he says lots of positive things about positive bands, and a person like that should be respected in your scene. I do not know what touring looks like. Bummer is just kind of waiting. Once everything kind of comes out into the open, that conversation might be more had, because then, it's like, it's more of like the incentive to be out there, like, once that's done. But dude, I don't know what the world looks like. And it kind of looks like this, and you already see it like a lot here in Kansas City, because people are looking for places to play already right now. And what you're seeing, and this is funny because we can relate this back to the Reaganomics question, is you're actually seeing Reaganomics kind of take place in like what's going on in the booking industry, and we're seeing what I call the trickle-down effect, because you're seeing a lot of these larger bands are looking for these open slots, and if you haven't had a hold on these dates for like a year and a half, like at least 6 months, like, you're not going to be getting these like primetime slots, which a lot of people are lining up for like October, November, fall, winter, like potentially when they know like it's safe and they can be in these like 300, 500 cap rooms. But you're seeing people like really fight over their spots. So you see artists who usually play like 1,000 cap room, they're going to settle on like a 300 to 500 cap room. And therefore that artist that usually plays like 300 to 500 cap room, they have to play like a 50 to 125. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, it's a bottleneck effect. So there's so many people that are like trying to get out there, and that's what makes it like really financially hard, is like, there are people who really do this like for their life, and like there's that, like, this is what they have to do, like they have to be out on the road, and we're not those people yet. It hopefully is like a thing that I want to do eventually, but the concept of touring has been really tough because you kind of have to have your foot in the door already. Doing a DIY tour right now is like both risky and just like really tough to do, because nobody really knows the rules, and each scene kind of has its rules on like what's ready to go, like who's ready to go, like is it okay to play, like is it not, and so it's kind of tough. So I'm going to say give it a couple months. I'd really like to like hopefully have that news change in the fall, because all three of us, like, we have immunocompromised parents, like, so it's a situation that is like really, we still are kind of like really trying to keep to ourselves and like be good about that. So we haven't been playing any outside shows or anything like that. And also because like I don't want to, we're too loud for that. I don't want to piss off that many neighbors. Done that plenty enough in my time. So it's just kind of unknown. I do know that like Big Water probably will play like an outside show or two soon, from what I've been told. Just because it's like, we're part of this one thing, and we do have some good outlets here that allow that, but it is just kind of like an interesting conversation, and you're going to see it's a conversation that's really like personalized from city to city and from city governance to city governance, like if that's allowed to happen. Because the other thing is like touring is interesting to look at, because that is a situation where you are crammed together for so long, and it is about being like around people, crammed in certain situations, sweaty and like running into each other. So it sucks to like play a show and like that's not the situation you're playing for. So for us, it's kind of like we'd rather wait for everything to be cool before you like do it prematurely. So
there we go.
Yeah, there's my little rant on that. Sorry.
So, well, no, that's good. That's what we're here for. We're here for the bullshit.
Yeah. We're always here for the bullshit, man.
I was going to kind of follow up with that, just asking, I've noticed that festivals, people are really pushing festivals with like all kinds of bands. Do you think that's kind of the end result of like what's happening with regards to the lack of venue spaces available?
Yeah, I mean, the Save Our Stages funds, like that, it was an initiative passed by Congress that raised, I think, over $2 billion for venues, and almost like 0% of it has been distributed. So it just kind of like shows you, for example, what our political landscape looks around the entertainment industry, and how it's just completely overlooked now because it's been so digitized. Like, it's always accessible, therefore like it shouldn't be anything. It is looked as like a public commodity, and that's kind of interesting. And I know what you're talking about. I mean, like, there's so many festivals that got announced. Limp Bizkit's playing one. I was like, damn, dude, I would fucking go see that shit. Like, I fucking watched fucking West Portland rip it up. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy to see, like, because I think that's the response of like what's going to happen is like you're saying, it's just like people kind of have to go out there and do this like thing where it's like, well, I mean, we've got to, entertainment companies have to make their money somehow. Mm-hmm. And it's like the bubble effect too. Like, that's kind of what the festival is providing, because then like they can create that false sense of security with that whole, like, it's a bubble. You need this to get in here. You need to show that you're vaccinated or have a negative COVID test. So, and I think you're going to see a lot of that in the conversations around that for a really long time. So
just bearing that in mind, do you think that's one way that independent bands could kind of leverage themselves into a better position with regards to these venues?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, because it really just depends on like who organizes in your city. And I think that is also depend like just who is involved in your scene. Like, if people really want to make that happen and create festivals and create these like bubble type things, you just have to like have the initiative to do that. But at the same time, like, I don't really know what that looks like for a lot of bands too that are on like professional grade touring circuits. Like, well, you just are going to play like 5 festivals this year instead of like a 30-day tour, like, what does that look like? I don't think it gets you the same amount of money unless there's a really fat guarantee. Oh, you know what I mean? Because the best part about being on tour is like the closeness, the grind, we don't, like, we'll stay in a hotel here and there. It's not like we're fancy boys, like, we fucking sleep on floors, man, but like, that's part of it, so I miss that.
So like, once the Thrill Jockey record comes out, you're still going to be out there sleeping on floors, touring in like a 30, 40-year-old band.
It's not 20 years old. It's a 2001. Don't talk about her like that. I see her out the window. She looks good. Olive's doing fine. She's got her back of house rebuilt. I just got her oil changed like 4 days ago. She's cool. Yeah, I mean, I bought that fucking van. Straight up, I'm fucking touring in that. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just what I know, and it's fun, and I really miss it. But it's you have to condition yourself for it. I've definitely been on tours where like people can't handle themselves on it, and that's why like I really love Mike and Sam, and I also love Steve and Punch, because those are both people that like understand like being on tour is like, you are kind of like touring is like one entity. You're all like, you're like a 3-headed dragon, and you're all a different brain that controls the same body. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's just interesting over time to like be conditioned to like being out on the road, because I don't really think a lot of people understand like it can be tough. Like, you play a show to like 5 people, make $20, sleep on the floor, drive 8 hours the next day, but then sometimes you fucking play a show to like 200 people, and you sell a bunch of t-shirts, and like you make good money, and like get a good door cut, and you get to fucking hang out with your friends, like that you've known for years, because you play, because of that show, you played to 5 people, made $20 off, and that's just kind of the gamble of it. And yeah, it sucks sometimes, but like, damn, dude, I miss it. It's fun to see the world like that, and just see what it is. I've learned a lot about myself because of that. So I want to experience it like that again. So I'll wait. I'll wait and get my just hang out until it's ready.
Well, that's awesome. Do you have anything else you want to get out of the way before we close out?
Nah, man, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, just keep your eyes open for the new Bummer record. Like I said, it's could be any day now. And then yeah, I mean, you can, Big Water has this new record coming out. You can buy the record on our Bandcamp, but like just know like you're probably gonna get a record that wobbles a little bit. So I'm sorry. You can message me about it and we'll get it figured out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You guys just take it easy out there and don't kill each other over in Noise Rock now.
I would like to thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.